Hello, thanks for the audience here. And my name is Yichao Xu. I'm a PhD student from National University of Singapore. And I'm going to share the work titled Vertical Integration and Consumer Satisfaction. So this paper is co-authored with Chen and Tsai Hsin-Tien, who are also from the National University of Singapore. So next, let's get started. Platforms are information intermediaries in the online environment. For e-commerce, platforms match consumers and products or services. In addition, platforms also directly sell products to consumers through vertical integration. Here, vertical integration means a platform owner enters into the related market. So here in our study, we will focus on platforms' entry into the retailing market. So for example, Amazon is selling the same products as third-party sellers. So here we will look at platforms' entry into third-party sellers' product market. And here we will now talk about platforms' self-branded products. And the main objection of this paper is to quantify the impact of platforms' vertical integrations on consumer satisfaction. Here, researchers have examined the impacts of vertical integrations from complementary perspective. But in our study, we focus on consumer side, consumer satisfaction. Here, consumer satisfaction is associated with consumers' behaviors and affects platforms' future profits. So our research questions consist of two parts. The first one is, how does platform integration affect consumer satisfaction? And the second, we would like to explore some factors that may explain the change in consumer satisfaction. So here we will look at platforms' information intermediation tools and three alternative explanations. Here we define platform integrations as platform owners' entry into a product market as a seller. But the main challenge in quantifying the integration effect is how to separate the impact and the cost of integrations. You can imagine that a platform owner may enter into a product market because the complementars are underperforming. So that could be a different story. To solve this problem, we construct a regression discontinuity design. So here we define the integration date as a day that platform starts selling the same product. And then we examine the change in consumer satisfaction before and after the integration date. So basically here we use a before and after variation within the same product to estimate the effect of integrations. So our study is based on two high-frequency data sets from Amazon. And the first one is Amazon's integration events. We identify a number of integration events from over 6 million products sold on Amazon. And the second one includes consumers' reviews. So we collect consumers' rating to measure the variations in consumer satisfaction. And then we can combine these two data sets. The final sample covers 13 product categories on Amazon. So the data is representative at platform level. And then we can aggregate the data at integration day level to construct the regression discontinuity design. So we first start from the reduced form evidence, and we use these figures to show the impact of integration. Here, the vertical line indicates the day that Amazon entered into the market. And we see the pre-trend is relatively flat, which means the integration, the Amazon's entries are exogenous within the narrow time window. And after the integration, we observe a decrease in rating. So we observe the negative effect, and we will formally test the effects of integrations. So here in the empirical analysis, we focus on two key variables. The first one is rating. We use rating to indicate consumer satisfaction. And the second one is pulse, a treatment indicator. So whether an observation is after an integration event. And then here we use a Pinot linear model. Here beta 1 is a coefficient of our interest. Here we also control the integration event fixed effect and time fixed effect in our analysis. So that's the main effect estimations. So in table 1, let's first look at column 1 and column 2. Here rating is aggregated at the integration event level. In column 1, we can see the treatment indicator pulse is significant and negative. So we see the rating of the same product decrease after Amazon's integrations. And then in column 2, we add several time dummies. We see the magnitude of the negative effect increase and converge at around 0.03. So overall, we can see a negative effect of integrations on product rating. And in column 3 and column 4, we aggregate rating at product level, so results are consistent. So here we, in the mean effect estimation, we observe a negative effect of integrations on consumer satisfaction. And here we further examine other changes in product market, like product price and sales. Here we find integrations also lead to price reduction and market expansion. Here we use these two figures to show the change in price and sales. Next, we will explain the decrease in consumer satisfaction using the price reduction and market expansion. So firstly, we construct the two dummy variables, price reduction and market expansion. We're using the medium split. So price reduction indicates whether a product experiences a larger decrease in price. And for market expansion, we define it in the similar way. Here we examine the impact of price reduction and market expansion. In column 1, we see price reduction may not explain the negative effects, but in column 2, for the market expansion, the interaction term is significant and negative. So we see the decrease in product rating is greater for products with a larger market expansion. The subsample analysis also supports this point. And overall, we see the negative impact is stronger when integrations cause greater market expansion. So we will call it negative expansions, in which sales increase, but product rating decrease. So that's the main analysis of our study. And here we use the RDD design for the causal identification. And next, I will explain the mechanisms underlying the negative expansions. So we start from the literature of consumer satisfaction. There's a mismatch between products and consumers can lower consumer satisfaction. We conjecture platforms, product recommendations, and pre-purchase information may explain the negative expansions. So here we use product recommendation. Here the product recommendations can explain the sales increase. However, when Amazon starts selling the product, it has an incentive to steer consumers to those integrated products for more profit, but those products may provide lower matching value for consumers and thus decrease consumer satisfaction. And for pre-purchase information, we use online reviews. So online reviews contain information to reduce product uncertainty. So we expect the online reviews can reduce the risk of mismatch and mitigate the negative effect of integrations. Here we also consider three alternative explanations, like consumer heterogeneity, product popularity, and market structures, but we see they may not explain the effects of integrations. So here I will not discuss them in detail, but the results are available upon request. To summarize, so here first we provide causal evidence that platform integrations decrease consumer satisfaction. And then we find the decrease in consumer satisfaction is driven by market expansion. So we term this phenomenon as negative expansion. And then we argue the mismatch between products and consumers can lower consumer satisfaction and use product recommendations and online reviews to explain the negative expansions. So overall, our findings may have managerial and policy implications. For example, we highlight the trade-off faced by platform owners, the temporary sales increase and future profit. And for the third-party sellers, although market expansion can lead to the increase in sales, but in the long term, the decrease in consumer satisfaction may bring negative externality on complementers. Okay, that's all for my presentation, and thanks for your attention. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments under this video. Thank you so much.